Every single day we tap a piece of plastic or our phone to buy something, and it just works. It feels like magic, right? But behind that simple, instant tap is this complex, high-speed dance. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the invisible giants that are actually moving your money.
So think about it. You tap your card to buy a coffee, the machine beeps. Approved. But have you ever really stopped to wonder who actually just moved that money? Was it your bank? Was it Visa? Or someone else you've never even heard of? Well, that's the exact question we're diving into right now. Okay, so to understand this, you got to know about something called the four-party model. The easiest way to think about it is like a conference call. There are four people on the line. You, the store, your bank, and the store's bank. And the card networks, they're the phone company connecting everybody. So let's meet the first person on the call, your bank.
First up, we've got the issuer. This is the bank you actually have a relationship with, and as you're about to see, they are 100% on your team.
It's pretty simple, really. The issuer is the bank that issued you your card. They're the ones who said, yep, we trust you, maybe gave you a line of credit, and, this is the big one, they are taking on all the financial risk for every single purchase you make.
And their job is all about insane speed and a ton of responsibility. I mean, in a fraction of a second, your issuer has to check if you have the money, run all these complicated fraud checks, and shoot back a yes or a no. They're your first defense against fraud, and they're who you call when you need to dispute a charge. The whole system just falls apart without them.
And we're not talking about some mysterious, faceless companies here. These are the big names you see every day. Chase, Capital One, Citi, even the newer fintechs like Revolut. Just look at the front of your card. You'll probably see one of their names. They're the ones guaranteeing the money.
All right, so we've met your bank, the issuer. Now let's jump to the other end of that phone call and meet the merchant's bank. They're called the acquirer.
So this player is the acquirer. Every single shop, cafe, or website that takes your card payment has a partnership with an acquirer. Their whole job is to get that business set up so they can take your money. The acquirer provides the store with that little machine you tap your card on, the point of sale terminal, or they handle the online version for websites. Then, at the end of the day, they bundle up all the approved transactions and handle the settlement. That's the part where the actual money finally gets moved into the merchant's bank account, usually a day or two later.
So here's the absolute key difference. The issuer is on your side, protecting you and fronting the money. The acquirer is on the merchant's side, protecting them and making sure they get paid. They're like the two bookends of every single transaction. But how do they talk to each other? Well, they talk to each other using this massive global data highway. And these highways are run by the names you really know, the logos you actually see on your card.
This highway is the card network. We're talking Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Now, they don't hold your money and they don't give you a card. Their one and only job is to be the super fast, super secure messenger that carries the transaction data between the issuer and the acquirer.
And they're not just a passive highway. Oh no, they're kind of like the traffic cops. They set the rules of the road for everybody. They decide those controversial interchange fees. That's the small percentage of every sale that the store has to pay back to your issuer. It's a big deal because it cuts into the store's profit, but it's also what pays for things like your credit card rewards. The networks also guarantee that your card from a tiny bank in Ohio works perfectly at a street market in Tokyo. They create the universal language for payments.
Okay, so we've met the players, your bank, their bank, and the highway connecting them. Now, let's watch it all happen. This is where it all comes together in a journey that is just mind-blowingly fast.
All right, let's follow the message. You tap. The signal zips from the terminal to the store's bank, the acquirer. The acquirer flicks it over to the network, let's say Visa. Visa instantly knows which bank issued your card, the issuer, and routes the message there. Your issuer does all its checks and sends a response, approved, all the way back down the exact same path.
And how long does that entire round trip take? From that store, maybe to a data center thousands of miles away, and all the way back? About 150 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. And remember, that's just the authorization, the permission slip. The actual money moves later. It's incredible, right?
Okay, theory's great, but let's make this super real with an example we all know and love, the morning coffee run.
Here we go. You tapped your Capital One card at Starbucks. Now, Starbucks acquirer happens to be Chase. So the message goes from the terminal to Chase, then to the Visa network. Visa pings Capital One, your issuer. Capital One says, yep, they're good for it, and sends the approval all the way back through Visa to Chase to the Starbucks terminal. The light turns green, and you grab your latte. A perfect, silent, high-speed conversation just took place.
So, after that whirlwind tour of the payment system, what's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this invisible stuff actually matter to you?
Well, it really just boils down to these 3 key roles. Just remember, the issuer is your bank, and they're looking out for you. The acquirer is the merchant's bank, making sure they get paid. And the network? That's the essential highway that connects everybody and makes the whole thing work, anywhere in the world.
Look, knowing this stuff isn't just trivia. It's the key to understanding why a payment might get declined or what those interchange fees are that you hear businesses complain about. It's the engine of modern commerce. You now officially know more about this than 99% of people who use a credit card every day.
So yeah, every tap of your card is this tiny, incredible, global conversation. We've just decoded the language of cards, but there are so many other ways money moves now. ACH, FedNow, wire transfers, you name it. So now that you're an expert on this highway, what payment rail should we break down next? Let us know. Thanks for tuning in.